So class 03 and class 4 as well. Just a quick recap on what we have discussed in the last class. Kubernetes labels. Kubernetes labels we have discussed. So what is the use of these labels? Let's say I have a pod. So this is my pod. Okay. So this pod is uh, an objective. Okay. It is nothing but an objective. Object, not objective. So I can say it is an object. So you have a deployment, stateful, like many things are there like objects. So this pod is a small object, a small component in your cluster. So how can I identify this pod? So with the labels only. Let's say app is equal to front end. So this is key, and this is value. App is equal to front end. So similar way, I can say team is equal to DevOps, so that it will be very easy to identify this, to find it. It is similar like your tags, similar like your tags in the AWS. We used to do tags to the EC2 instances, right? Similar way, it is easy to identify your pods in your cluster like a tags, similar to that. And it is helping Kubernetes to find out this object, find out this object. Similar way, your nodes as well. If you have a server, so this is a node. So this node will also have labels. We have already seen labels like node is equal to, or disk is equal to SSD or HDD or GPU or similar critical things. Okay. So in particular node, I wanted to run this particular pod. In this particular node, I wanted to run this particular pod here. So I have to match the labels. I have to say it. So example, I have this pod. I have this pod. So this pod, I wanted to schedule on this node. I wanted to schedule on this node. So in order to schedule on this node, I have to match this label, match this label in this pod. In this pod, I need to say that, hey, there is a label called disk is equal to SSD. So whenever you're going to schedule, go and deploy in this particular node. So this is what we have discussed in the last class. If we go here, Kubernetes pods and nodes labels. Okay. So this is to identify your pods in a group manner. So let's say I'm running this command like this. Last time we have seen in the class as well. So we are running a pod like this. When I'm running a pod, kubectl run, it will create a pod, nginx, and I'm telling that nginx is the thing, and labels I'm allocating to it. Labels I'm allocating to it is environment is equal to prod and tire is equal to front end. So when you see the label of the existing pod, you can see like this, or you wanted to see labels of all the pods, you can see like this as well, or you wanted to remove, you can remove like this as well. Okay, let's go to the Kubernetes killer coda. I guess it is down. Not even waiting. Too many people using. Play with K8s. Go to this, click on this, log in with your GitHub or a Docker. Log in with your GitHub and start. So it is also a Google environment that will give you 1 hour of free service. See, this is also fully occupied. Uh, there's a waiting period. So too many people are using. The traffic is high on their free servers. Okay, let me go back and let's see. Environment 2 node. Still I am in the busy mode. So how can I create a mini cube cluster or a mini cube server? So mini cube we can set up in your local desktop or in one single server. Mini cube you can set up in local desktop or in one single server. So when you run in your laptop that need at least 8 GB SSD and 2 GB graphic card. So because your CPU consumption will be more and you need to have Docker desktop as well. Docker desktop as well. You need to have Docker desktop. So open your Docker desktop here. Open Docker desktop and go and search in the Google that kind install in Windows. Okay. Kind install in Windows if you are using Windows, or if it is your Mac, then you can do it from the brew. Okay. Quick start kind Kubernetes. So this is mini cube. So this is mini cube. You can see it's a kind. So it is one type of tool. So installation. Click on the installation. Here it is telling you that you are on the Linux or you are on the Windows. When you are on the Windows, just try to run this. Okay. Once you have run, then so this is for Chocolatey. I better recommend this one. Go and install Chocolatey. I also told you in the previous class, while you are going for AWS CLI installation, so it's better that you always have the installation of Chocolatey in the Windows because it will support most of the things for you. I understand. Chocolatey need to be installed. Chocolatey need to be installed. Once the Chocolatey installed, Choco installed kind. Go here, open your terminal, run it. Yes, kind is installing right now because Chocolatey is already installed in my system. Chocolatey is already installed in my system. If you don't know, search install Chocolatey. Installing Chocolatey. Okay. You need to open your PowerShell and run one single command, this command. This command you need to run. Okay, you need to open your PowerShell as a administrator, and then you can run this command. Then chocolate will be installed, and then you can run choco commands. Yes. Luckily, two node thing is came for us. Let me kubectl get nodes. So we have node 1 and we have one control plane also. So let me complete the kind, or let me cover in the last. Without wasting time, let's focus on this. So Minikube you can install in your desktop as well. I guess permission got denied. I'll tell you this one how to do, but let's focus on here. So if I go to where this one, kubectl get pods. I don't have any pod. kubectl get nodes hyphen show hyphen labels. When you run this, you can able to see these labels, right? This is a label. If I run kubectl run my pod hyphen image is equal to nginx is equal to nginx. When I say this command, it will create the pod. Now run pods. You are able to see this pod. Same way, now you can see the labels for the pod. For the pods. When you see for the pod, it is telling that run is equal to my pod. Telling that run is equal to my pod. So this is the label, and these are the labels for the nodes. This is the label for pod, and these are the labels for nodes. So can I remove and add the label for it? Yes, you can follow this document and the first. I given the command here. We can follow these documents. Then you can also assign a label, and then you can also means to do whatever. Okay. So here kubectl label pod my pod give run hyphen. So it will remove your pod label. It will remove your pod label. You can see it is unlabeled. When you give hyphen, it will remove that. So if I again ask show labels, none, nothing is there. Now I'll give is equal to DevOps. So if you ask show labels, it is showing the labels to you now. You can see it is showing the labels. Why I need these labels are because to identify this pod. Now I can say, now I can say here app, and I'll say override. Override. Uh, kubectl labels. Overrides. Overwrite, not write. Oh, sorry. Now you can see show labels. It was applied as app is equal to DevOps and run is equal to DevOps. So that when you run this command, when you see this pod, you can able to understand that, oh, this is related or belong to the DevOps team, this pod, or this pod for the front end, or this pod for the production, or this pod for the UAT, or this pod for something uh, staging environment. So like this, you can identify this pod with these labels. So that is one use case. Second use case is I have nodes, right? I have nodes. I have nodes. kubectl get nodes. When you run -o wide, you can able to see the information about these nodes. Information about the nodes. Now I wanted to see the labels of these nodes, and I wanted to see the similar way kubectl get pods -o wide. So which will tell you that which pod on running on which node. It is running on node 01. For now it is running on the node 01, right? It is running on the node 01. So your scheduler is actually schedule that pod. It will actually schedule that pod. You have two nodes. You have a control plane and here your scheduler. Your scheduler is going to see the, is it a free space is available? Then here it will allocate the pod. Here is the free space is available. Then here it is allocate the pod. So this node 02 and this is node 01. So in whichever the server space is there, this scheduler will schedule the pod inside the node. But what I want this particular pod to be scheduled on a particular node only. How can I? Then you have to say label. You are telling to this pod, hey, there is a node. I don't know node name. I don't know node operating system. I don't know node IP address. I don't know anything. I only know one thing is node is live. If node is live and there is a label called SSD, disk is equal to SSD. If you find this label, go and schedule here. To whom you are telling this, sir? You are telling to the scheduler. You are telling to the scheduler. As you are a human here, you are telling to the scheduler that in my pod I am giving this label. Which label? This label. Whose label it is? Node label. If you find that, go and push this pod into this node only. So this is the use case of label. That is the use case of label. Now I would like to give a label to my node. What I'll do, I'll give nodes. Is it visible? Here, are you able to see these labels, right? See, these are all the labels. Now, is there anything that present grep SSD? Nothing is there. Okay. SSD name is not there in this. Now, what I'll going to do in this current scenario of this killer coda, whatever pod you are creating, since we have only control plane server and single node, only one server as a node 01, here. So whatever you're telling to the control plane will try to deploy all the pods in the node only until this node is 100% occupied. Now at the current scenario, we cannot fill this node with the 100% of running pods. But we wanted to check since we have the only two nodes. So I wanted to bypass scheduling this pod into this node 1 and I wanted to tell that to the control plane, hey, I'm giving the label is equal to SSD to the control plane node only. So if you find that server among these two, then schedule the pod in this server only. Are you all getting me?
Yes, Rajni.
Okay. So I'm telling like that. So when you have this, so this is very, very important, guys. With ReplicaSet, replication controller, deployment, this labels is very important concept. Now I'm telling this. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to give a label disk is equal to SSD. Generally what happens, whenever you create any pod, that will automatically create in your node 01 only. Here also we can see kubectl test2 hyphen image is equal to nginx. When I say kubectl get pods hyphen o wide, see this also is running on this only. If you run 10 pods also, it will schedule on the node 01 only because it has to fill 100% until and unless scheduler won't schedule the pod in the control plane. Now kubectl get nodes kubectl, let me go with the alias. K is equal to kubectl. K get nodes. Sorry.
B is missing.
Yes. 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 Um, I always do spelling mistake. That is my problem. So kubectl get nodes and do hyphen o wide. Okay. Yeah. So now K label nodes node 01. Okay. As disk is equal to SSD. So instead of node 1, I wanted to say to the control plane. I wanted to say to the control plane. This is the control plane. So this is labeled now. So kubectl or kget nodes hyphen show hyphen labels. Here you can see in the control plane. So there would be SSD here. Here you can see. You can also give grep as well. So this is you have to find like this. See here you can able to see grep as well, right? So this is how. Now I wanted to tell to my pod kubectl run test3 hyphen image is equal to nginx. Here I need to say as label. I need to say as label. Okay. Here say it as disk is equal to SSD. Disk is equal to SSD. So when you say this one, this pod is going to schedule on a particular node. So that is what we want. So but what happens? We are just giving this node, but we are not giving called node selectors. Node selectors. If you come down, I guess I have mentioned node selectors. This is how node selectors should be. This is how a node selectors to be keep it inside your pod information, and then this will find that and it will deploy over it. Now I'm just giving pod label as SSD. Pod label as SSD. But let me deploy that first. Let me try in a CLI mode. I just ran, okay, kubectl get pods -o void where it is deployed. It is deployed again on the node 01, right? But I wanted to shift. Kubectl edit pod test3. So you are editing the pod, you are getting into the YAML, and here if you come down, inside your spec, inside your spec, uh, spec. So this is not there. This is not there. Copy this. Go here and paste. Okay. Escape, shift colon, WQ, exclamatory mark. Oh, okay. Edit is not happened, I guess, properly. Hmm. So the problem kubectl stop pod. No, stop is not available. Sorry. I can delete. Okay, let's get into the YAML thing first. So pod K8s. Let's understand the YAML and then we'll create the pods with the YAML only. And then we'll come to the same point. So this is a Kubernetes document. Okay. And this is a Kubernetes document. So in this document, you will be having YAML things, why this is and why not, why you have to use it, all these things. So everything will be here. Everything, whatever they have developed, they will write all the things here. Okay. And here you can see pod is nothing but a smaller object in your Kubernetes. So this is a YAML. This is a YAML. So this YAML is an information or a template of your object. Which object? Pod. So pod, you are creating the pod from this YAML. So previously, how we have created? We have created through the imperative with the kubectl command. But now we are creating through this YAML. So what is this YAML and how we can write? See, API version. API version in the sense, so this is an API which is always tells and talks to the API of this YAML to your Kubernetes. Okay. And kind. Kind is nothing but it is a resource type. It is the a resource type defining the resource. So here I can say replica set, here I can say stateful set, deployment controller. Okay, like this I can say what are all the objects are available inside that. Okay, so that is type, which is nothing but pod. So this will go into create the pod. And then there is a metadata. What this metadata? Metadata is a unique name of your pod. Any resource you can take. It is a unique name of your pod. So, and it is in a key value. So this is in the key value. So in this metadata is also contains labels. We are going to add labels as well. That is in the replication controller and replica set. So match expression label, things will come into the picture. Okay. And inside the spec is nothing but specifications or the configurations of your uh, container, your pod. Okay. So spec is nothing but you are telling the desired configuration or a desired state that how you wanted to be run your container. That is your plan, your goal. How I want it to be run this. So that is my desire. So what container should run inside the pod? Those things I'm telling through the spec. Containers, inside the container name is Nginx, container name is Nginx, image is Nginx, and port is the 80 port number. So this is how I can do that. Okay. So what I can do, I'll just take this simple pod.yml, go here.
Rajini, I have a question in the
Yeah.
AML. So where this will extract the image from? Is it from the internet or
This image is
if it,
coming from your Docker hub directly.
okay?
This
But
image
in
is
the real
pulled,
time, mm, mm,
yeah, this image will pulls from your Docker hub. In real time also, most of the cases that will pull from the new packages from the internet. In some of the banking companies, that is not allowed because there will be a container or a pod security or Kubernetes security will be applied. So it will going to block them. So few of the things it will directly block them. So those things you have to download from your JFrog.
okay. So the sequence is just to download the image from the Google or from the website, and then download and then scan the Docker image, and then you upload it into JFrog, and then you configure it here.
Yes, that is also a case. Yeah, you will be downloading, you are doing your security testings and everything, and you are putting, it is kind of your own libraries you are selecting, right? So
Mm-mm.
those things you are keeping in your JFrog, and from there you will be downloading and using at your development area. So in the CI/CD pipeline, what happens when this image is pulling, when this image is before going to run as a container or before it is going to run as a pod in CI/CD from the Docker file, uh, there would be a call SecOps concept, Privy, Snake, CyberDoc, Cyberflow. Okay, like this there are many tools are there. Those tools will going to scan this image and identifies that this is not a good image even though we are downloading from the internet. So this image is having some vulnerabilities. So I would not recommend to go further. The pipeline itself fail over there. That is DevSecOps.
Okay.
Okay. So this is in real time case. You have a pipeline. You have a pipeline. Let's say this is a pipeline. And here it is applying into the Kubernetes. So this is checkout. Code is checkout and unit test, integration test. And here it is Docker file is there. And you are building the image. You are building your container image. So you have used Nginx only here. Let's say you have used Nginx. When you used Nginx, So here there is a snick or tree will be there that will scan this image. So if it found any CVEs, then it will block of uploading this image into your registry like ECR. It will block here itself. So otherwise it is passed, then it will move and this image will be applied here and deploy into the your Kubernetes. So this is how DevSecOps operates. Uh, Sorry. This is how DevSecOps operates. Okay. Let's create this one. Escape shift colon WQ exclamatory mark. So you can kubectl apply -f simple pod. You can run this command. The pod will be created here. You can see the pod will be created. Now you can go for the pods. So there is a Nginx pod is creating right now. You can see Nginx pod is creating right now, and this is now running over the control plane. But we have not told anything to this pod. Don't assume that I have given something. No, I didn't given anything. I didn't given anything, but it is running on the control plane. What I want a pod to be scheduled on the control plane because of my instruction, not because of the scheduler wish. It has to schedule because of my instruction. So now what happened? Scheduler has decided this. I have not decided. Where we have not given anything, right? Nothing. There is no labels. I have not said anything to the pod. I have to say something to the pod, right? So now let me delete that pod. I don't need it. I don't need these pods.
So if there are any correction, the only option is to delete and then the recreate. There is no adjustments, right? Or rename or remove.
No, you can do that. You can modify it like how you have edited. You can like that edit it in your deployment controller. But now let's see. Okay. So I'll tell you because the deployment controllers those are important. To take to that point, I have to must taught you how the labels should work. Now I wanted to create a new pod, which is nothing but this pod only. Okay. Now it is created the pod. It is running the pod lifecycle, right? And node 01. And it is node 01. Okay, it is node 01. Now the next pod, which I'm going to create, I want it that to be scheduled on the control plane, not on the node 01. So immediately if you create one more pod, it will surely going to schedule on the node 01 because there is a lot of space available already. Okay. Now, what I would like to, I wanted to create one more file called vi test2.yml. And here I'll go and take the same, this one. And here I'll take metadata as pod name as test2. Okay. And but here in the spec, I'll say that this one. This one. Okay. Escape shift colon WQ exclamatory mark. Now kubectl apply -f test2. Now kubectl get po -o void pending. Okay. Pending. pending, pending. Why it is in pending? Because my scheduler is troubling to find out that node. Is struggling to find out that node. Something mistake we have done. Okay, let's try to troubleshoot it. Yes, my pod is getting into the pending state. This is your interview question, guys. What do you do when your pod is getting into crash loop backoff issue or pending issue or error issue, image pullback issue? So these are all the 5 types of interview questions. Home killed issue. Okay, 5 errors are there. Now one of the error is pending. What can I do? First, kubectl describe. First I'll describe the pod, which is test2. So when I'm describing the pod, in this events, it is telling that warning, failure to schedule. My scheduler is not able to find something. There are 2 nodes. Okay. So 2 nodes, out of 2 nodes, I was not able to keep this pod on any of the node because nodes doesn't match node or pod affinities or selectors. It is telling that selectors. New claims to deallocated and permutation is 0.2. So it's clearly telling that scheduler is having a problem to find the proper selectors. To find a proper selectors. Now get kubectl get nodes show labels. When I say that, what is here? Disk is equal to SSD. But what I have said in the pod, let me go to the VA test2. What I have said in the pod, disk type is SSD. There is capital letters, small letters is a problem. Now I have to remove disk type. I need to just say only disk and in capital letters SSD. Okay. Escape shift colon WQ explanatory mark. Now reapplied. So when is reapplied? Okay, it's a problem. What do you do? Kubectl delete pod test2. Okay. Now apply it. Create it. Now get pods. Now where it is running? It is running on the control plane, right? It is running on the control plane. Are you all clear with this lab?
Yeah. One question, Rajani, like, since there is a issue or code issue in the YAML file, are there any mechanism that can automatically validate this YAML file, or is it the developer responsibility to rightly define it?
No, why developer responsibility? No, it's your responsibility because you are the owner of this all things actually. So YML lint validator. So it will only check that your lint is lint means it will just check the skeleton. Okay. The thing. So it is telling right. This lint is doesn't know that whether you have given Nginx or whether you have given Ubuntu. It just tell you that, oh, this is a key, this is a value, you are right. Okay, you are right. But this lint doesn't know that. When you'll get to know, when you are trying to deploy only, if doesn't match, then only you'll get to know. So if that is the case, validator is there, then there won't be any pending issues or a crash loopback if issues in the Kubernetes. So there is no that's kind of things. So this is your day life, troubleshooting pending issues, pending pods.
Okay.
So you
So if
have
you
to
want
do it. You have to validate it. Yeah.
So if you wanted to create
And
a two parts, right, then we have to copy paste the same the
uh,
code.
yes, you can copy paste. See what changes here is there. You need to change this one and this one. That's it. And this one.
Correct.
These are the important things. then these are all same things only. You just need to change these values. So this you said right that automatic validations things are matter. Those can be achieved by the AI ops. Those can be achieved by the AI ops in your CI/CD pipeline only. In CI/CD pipeline, your AI is already get trained, so it will tell you that there is no such kind of labels node are there as per the information you are giving this one. Can you justify these things until unless I'll keep the pipeline in pending mode. Then
Right.
if you accepted that, then the pipeline will go and deploy. If it is failed, then again it will tell you that the same AI with the log parsing that so because of the mismatching labels, your pod is got pending state. So please go and correct to the right label. This is the right label. That's it. Simple. You don't need to run this many commands. You don't need to do
Correct.
a lot of troubleshooting and all. If
Yeah, this will
there
save a lot
is
of time, right? If you add the AI into that, it automatically fix and rerun it, right? It will save a lot of time for developers.
in the place of you, if I keep an agent can do that work.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah. So any
You have that
questions?
scenario, Rajini, in your current any lifetime projects? Like, do you guys implement that AI in the DevOps?
AI is there, agents
Mm.
are there to just
Mm.
read only. So we are not giving any hands off to do direct changes to the AI and the production system.
Mm.
AI is not that mature.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. This production system changes to go agents, especially agents. If you talk about editing more than agents, AI agents are not that enough mature to do the changes at production market. It will take more time, at least 3, 4, 5 years of time.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions? Vikram, Rahul, Anji?
Rajni,
Hmm.
s- I'm like, do we write this YAML file on our own?
Yes.
Okay.
So writing on our own, you no need to uh, remember all these things every time. For interview purpose, you have to remember, buddy. But for your working on every day, you no need to remember this all because these things are already present. These things are already there in your organization as well. When you are writing any repository with your manifest files, these templates will automatically there. You just need to edit these values. And one more thing, we gonna use Helm charts, not manifest files. So Helm charts will bring all these things to you and it will give you only one single file where you need to edit these values. What you would like to keep your container name, edit there. What you would like to keep the image name, edit there. And then with single command, it will deploy. You no need to write this YMLs every time for every object. One single Helm command can do everything for you in the Kubernetes. To reach that point, it will take some time, at least 1 week of time we need it. After completing Kubernetes, we'll go to that.
So looks like we have the tool for everything, right? Just to matter
Yes.
of creating a pipeline. That's it, and
Yes.
understanding this concept, how that works. That's it. All jobs
Yes.
done.
When you know the concepts and how the workflow and the working mechanism, then that is our knowledge base, right? To do troubleshoot.
Okay.
Okay. So Vikram, do you have any questions? Srikanth, Jaka sir.
No, Rajni.
Okay. So at least in your organization, how you are using, at least tell me that. Okay. So we have good professionals in this class. So please, I request them to open your voice and try to educate others with the scenarios.
Yeah, that really helps us, right? Since we are learning, I don't know. Yeah, whatever I know, I'm asking you. So you guys share the real-time experience that will help us for all others in this course.
Cool. So there is another concept called replication controller. If you're all good with these labels, then I'll go to that concept.
Rajini, like one final question. See, label I'm clear, but the selector, right? That's what I'm not getting that. So since we have the label that we have to maintain everything in the label, then why we have a selector there?
Same only, same thing only. For you, two names there, right? So you are the Satish and you are the Vijay. So I am all same. Node selectors same and selectors are same. Labels also same. So selectors are similar. There is no change, similar only. But in the first level of the Kubernetes in 2016 and 17 and 18, there is a controller called Replication Controller. So in that straightforward things are there to define the labels. But later the expressions is the one more update. Match label expressions. So in the expression terminology, we call them as selectors instead of the labels. Under the selectors, we add the labels. I'll show you. Here, if you go to the deployment controller, here we have match labels. Okay. So in this match labels, we have label. We're telling match labels, we have label app is equal to nginx, where under selectors. Selectors, so you are telling that, oh, there is under selectors, you are updating the labels. So it is, section is same, label section only. But this is an update in the Kubernetes that under the selector, you must update the label so that Kubernetes controller scheduler is easy to find out. It is easy to find out. So that is the concept of the selectors. If you say node selectors, then it is for the servers. If you say only selectors, it's labels. So same only, no difference. Just don't confuse. Under the selector word, you are adding the labels in the modern Kubernetes world.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Now there's a concept called replication controller.
Rajni, one question.
Hmm.
That on the CLI screen, for the new pod that you have created, it shows under node that it is control plane. I didn't get it.
What is our main motto of this lab? So if you could, in starting I said one problem statement, right? Can you tell me that problem statement?
Okay, I joined 15 minutes late. Sorry.
Acha. Okay, so instead I'll be again reframing this answer. Someone who has already joined from the starting and understand, can you try to explain in your words, any one of you? A request to
Sorry,
unmute.
Ashish.
Yeah, so can you explain to the Rahul that what is our problem statement and what we have done in this lab? So he's asking
So,
why you have
um,
deployed this on the control plane node.
okay, so Rahul, so I will explain you. So when we are deploying any, running any new pod, right? So that is going to, by default, it is going to apply in the, or it's going to create in the any like available node. For suppose if we have two nodes, then it will check the first node selector will see uh, the space and the availability, then it will going to create that pod into particular node. If we have a two nodes, then we have a one node only, right? So then by default it's going to create the that pod in the default node. But why, what we are going to do, we need to schedule this pod and the particular or specific on the one node. We have to decide that one. So using the for that we are going to use the node labels. So we can add some labels in the like a node level or node something control plane or node level. Then using that label we can deploy that particular pod into that node. So we added some label into that control plane. Then we using that label we deploy that that pod into like a particular node using the Elm chart, something like using the
So,
AML files.
yeah,
We can manually also we can do the things, but we done that today using the
uh-huh.
labels. We decided the
Yeah. So
which
we are
node.
doing it intentionally.
Sorry.
So we are doing it intentionally.
Yes,
By default, scheduler does it, but here we are trying to do it.
yes. We are trying to say this node pod going to schedule on the particular node.
Particular node. Okay, 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 okay. Thank you, thank you.
You're clear, right? So still have a doubt.
Yes,
So I'll
yes.
explain one more time.
No,
Should
no,
I
no,
explain one
Rajni.
more
I
time?
am clear now. No, no, no.
Okay.
I am good now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. So good, good. At least you are raising your voice. One more thing is called replication controller, which is every stuff we are discussing in the class was very important. Your questions also is highly valuable to educate others who are not opening there. And if you open your mouth and asking questions, you will only get to know, because I can show live here practically with errors. With your question, I'll try here. Okay, when I'm try here, I also get error. When I am getting error, I'll solve that error. So you'll get educated. But instead you're not asking question, you wanna try asking everything in a chat GPT or the Google, that will only tell you theory part. You never won't get a practical experience. That is the difference, guys. So please open mic and ask the question. Now is a replication controller. Replication controller means it is one of the component or a object in the Kubernetes. API version again we are telling V1, but latest Kubernetes is using apps/V1. Okay, we can also take this, we can try it. Still Kubernetes is supporting this. They have not deprecated anything, but in industry, at your companies, at your production level, this is no, zero. It is not useful. Nobody is not using, zero. But it is our responsibility, because we are learning and we are making ourselves pro at the Kubernetes. We must know about this controller. Then only we can know that what are all the latest modern things are running in the Kubernetes. So this is no use, but we have to learn must. Replication controller. What is replication controller? This replication controller, in a simple word, it's a replica. When you say replica means you are maintaining, you are creating same identical or a same pods, 3 number, 4 number, 5 number, like that, right? Similar same configuration pods you are creating. Okay, these 3 pods are similar. So 3 pods are running right now. In 3 pods, same container is running. Same configuration, same memory, same CPU, everything is same. So I have created this 3 identical things. So when you say this, you call them as replica. So this is replica of your original pod, right? So this is replica of your this pod, right? Or this pod. So same configurations are there. When you're saying replica is equal to 3, that means these 3 pods are same configuration running in your Kubernetes, same labels. I'm telling that same labels. App is equal to DevOps. For 3 pods, it is same label. For 3 pods, same labels. You can also allocate different labels as well. So same label is there. And you are creating one controller, that is replication controller. This is replication controller. This is replication controller. So under this replication controller, you are handling this 3 pods. You are handling this 3 pods. Pod 01, pod 1, pod 2, and pod 3. Okay. Pod 1, pod 2, pod 3. What happens if your pod, this pod is deleted? Then this controller, what you have said in this, in this you said that replica is equal to 3. So 3 pods are running. If you say 4, it will run 4. If you say 5, it will run 5. If you say 100, it will run 100. Okay. You're saying that pod 1, pod 2, pod 3 is there. 3 is you. I'm telling to this controller that whatever happens, your job is to available 3 pods in the cluster. So now something happened, this pod got deleted by you. Then since the condition is 3, it will create the new pod. The responsibility is it always take high availability. It always take high availability. Okay, that is nice. We understand. Then why we are not using this one? Because there are some disadvantages are there. There is things are not fit right now according to the right now current modern Kubernetes which is developed. Because those are all the problems. Solving the problems, Kubernetes itself is upgraded automatically. What are those problems? Replication controller will manage the pods straight away of the labels. What is straight away of the labels? App is equal to DevOps. This one only it will understand. That's it. This one only it will understand. It will nothing understand more. If you say, hey, there are some other labels as well, like dev, like QA, like anything. Okay. So it will only understand when you give like this. If you say that there is not, or there is not exist. Okay, in and not. In and not means it is kind of filter, search filter. A search filter. Search filter in the sense, so you can give more expressions to this pod. You can give more expression to this pod so that your controller can find those pods. A controller can find those pods. If it is created, it is easy to maintain these pods under this controller. But this option is not there. This option is not. This is one thing. It will only do straight away. If you do key value, straight away it will find. There, straight away. Just key and the value. Value is not there, then error. Simple, error. If value is there, okay. a value is present or not. It doesn't care. But here you can give multiple filters to find out that filters, or you can give multiple things as a in or not in operators, kind of operations. Okay, I'll tell you that. So this is one thing. Second thing is, when you are doing upgrades, I wanted to do upgrade from V1 to V2. So here I'm using V1 image, Docker image, and I wanted to upgrade to V2. When I'm upgrading to the V2, there is a downtime. There is a downtime. So this is second thing. So these are all the basic things, but it has created a big impact to not to use this. So this is the problem in the replication controller. In the replication controller. Okay. So proving this V1 to V2 is not necessary right now, but just understand that it is having the downtime. In the deployment controller, we can see that. 1 minute. Again, deployment. Wait a minute. Okay. So the downtime will be you will get it. So downtime means your V1 is running here, right? So when you upgrade to the V2, users who are there here, so they cannot access this applications. So that is the problem with your replication controller. If you go here and you can read about the replication controller, what it is, ensuring the specific number of replica pods are running in any one time. In other words, replication controller makes sure that pod are homogeneous to set in the always available thing, which is HA. Okay. So example, if the replica controller terminates the extra pods, if there are too few, the replication controller starts more pods, unlike manually created the pods. What this word mean? I'll tell you, I'll prove you also. These pods are maintained by replication controller, automatically replaced by the when they fail or deleted or terminated. This is what I said here. If it is done, then it will create the new pod. Okay. So replication controller is often abbreviated as RC in discussion as a shortcut in further your documentation. So this is your replication controller. Okay. So in this replication controller, this document will tell you about the positive things only. It will always tell you that this document is designed for this and this is what it is. Okay. Let's apply these things. You can directly apply by copying this command as well. Again, refresh, get the new one. kubectl get RC. So Nginx is the controller. RC is created. 3 are desired, which I'm expecting. How many are running? 3 only running. Okay. kubectl get pods. You have 3 pods running. 3 pods, which is nothing but your RC name, and then random ID it will create. What it will create? A random ID it will create. Now let's see the labels. Show labels. What? kubectl get pods? No such host.
I think you forgot the hyphen show.
How hyphen
All right.
labels only.
telling that app is equal to Nginx. Where it is? Here. This is the label, right? In the template, you are telling in selector app is equal to Nginx, and labels in metadata of this template, you are telling app is equal to Nginx. You are telling app is equal to Nginx. So, in the last thing we have discussed on the pod level, but here there is a new thing is added. What is that new thing? Template is the new thing is added. So this is nothing but a pod template. So this replication controller will use this to create the pod. It is used to create the pod. These are nothing but pod information, actual pod specific information, specs. We call them as specs. Okay. So inside the specs, I'm telling condition as 3, selector is app is equal to Nginx, and container is this one. But what about the pod? Where is the pod? This is the pod. Template is the pod. Okay. So this information name is equal to Nginx. If you different this name, and if you different this labels, we can try as well like that. We can different it. Okay. This is the pod name. Pod name can be anything. So what happens? Pod name by default, it is taking this one, right? It is also taking this one. Then it will create a random ID. Now I have applied, it is created. This is how it is look like. Now you go here and you can see the labels app is equal to Nginx. Right? Now I will create what I would like to do. I will create one more pod with the same label. My question is, will this controller will take that pod under this controller or not? Before that, I also have one more condition. What is our condition? We were telling that replica is equal to 3, right? If I delete this pod, will my controller will create new pod or not? kubectl delete pod name. Pod name. So I'll paste it here. Okay. It deleted. What is pod name? 42. If I go and say 42 is there? No, it is not there. But at 7 seconds ago, my controller created the new pod. Immediately. How you can do that? kubectl get pod -. There is command I forgot. kubectl get. No. Watch. Yes. So here you can see the live count. Okay. Now I'll delete the pod. I'll delete this one or this one. It's deleted. Here you can see it is deleting and creating the new one, which is kgcrd. Okay. And here show labels created 30 seconds ago. Right? Now your pod is created. It ran a pod lifecycle and it's deleted and created. So this is how it will. This is the condition is okay. We know that controller is maintaining high availability. We understand. Good. Now the second thing is, I will create one more pod manually. Will that pod comes under the same controller? So that means here you can see this has to show desired count is 3 and current count is 4. Will it show, Kondal, or will it show, Vikram? Will it be showing 4 or 3? Because in desired what we have said, we said 3. But if I create with the same configuration, with the same labels, will my controller acquire that pod and it will show 4 count or 3 count?
It won't show actually.
Why?
It is looking for labels only.
So I am also
If it
giving
is a
the same
matching
label.
labels, you know.
If I'll also give the same label, see, kubectl run, or we have already this one, right? So okay, labels only. Kubectl run my pod. Okay. Hyphen image is equal to nginx. I'll say hyphen
It will go
label.
into the pending, right? Since its count is more than 3.
That's where you're thinking. I want this. People are thinking. Just please think. Now I'm telling that kubectl run my pod hyphen image equal to, I'm giving the same label. Pod is created. Now I'll ask show labels. App is equal to nginx. Kubectl get pods. A pod is created, right? Labels. So kubectl get pods. Only 3 pods are it is showing. Okay. My pod 1. Pod is created. Show labels. Are you able to see any pod?
No.
Now kubectl get pods. Only I'll run this. Pod is not creating. What we'll do, we'll create without label. Am I doing any command mistake? Labels. I guess I'm doing Adi. Problem, command problem. App is equal to nginx. App is equal to nginx. Okay. So now what happening? The pod with the same labels, pod is telling it is created. Pod is telling it is created. Let me create normal pod without labels. Your nginx pod 1 is there. Now what I wanted to create app is equal to DevOps. So this is pod 2. Let's see pods. You can able to see the pod, but when you say with the same label, kubectl run nginx labels and the same label. Are you able to see the pods? Am I able to see the pod? No, nginx pod, I'm not able to see it here. Or let me do a different name. Here, I'll say my pod. Am I able to see any pod? No, the pod is not creating because the condition is matched. Labels are saying, okay, that's done. Now, what I would like to do, hey, there is Nginx one pod is there. To this pod, I will apply same label because when we are trying to create with the same label, it is not creating, right? It is just showing created, but when we see the things, it is not showing. Okay. In meantime, someone can try in the Google and tell me the command to show hidden pods. Okay. Now, Nginx one is there. Nginx one, I would like to apply this label. kubectl label pod nginx -1 nginx -1, and I would like to give label app is equal to nginx. Label, sorry. I have labeled. Where your nginx one is there? No, it is not acquiring, buddy, because the condition is already matched. The condition is already matched. Now what we can do, we'll try to edit this RC. kubectl edit RC. Okay, nginx. And now come here, replica is equal to 4. Escape shift colon WQ exclamatory mark. Now if you get pods, see fourth pod is created automatically. Created 3 seconds ago. Are you able to see, right? Are you understanding what I'm doing?
Yes, yes.
Because after this controllers, I want you to do show to me by going to the killer code and executing the same labs. So this is controller. We understand the label's importance. Are we or not? Are you got the point of why the labels is important?
Got it, Rajni.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, yeah, I understand applying the labels. It only looks for direct key value. If I apply one more label to the same pod, as team is equal to DevOps. Okay. What it is telling? Invalid. Otherwise, we'll do in this command mode. And the next one. Label. This pod I'll do. I'll say it as team is equal to DevOps. Wrong command. I need to say pod. Pod. Labels. Wrong command. So here in the replication, you can able to see the label app is equal to nginx. Here, should I give one more? So should I give one more? What I'll do, I'll delete this replication controller, kubectl, delete rc nginx, and vi dot yml. Come here, copy this, paste this. Go here and say that team colon DevOps. kubectl, what is the command? Apply -f. You are targeting to the file and RCF. What it is telling? Line number 22 expected is this one. Okay, virc.yml.
It's in the bottom. It's the I at the bottom.
Yeah. Thank you, Thomas.
And the file is TML, not YML. I think you type or something.
File is YML or YML is both work.
TML. Okay.
Okay, sorry. TML. It's not YML. Should be YML. Sorry. kubectl apply -f rc.yml. What is telling? The replication controller nginx spec template labels the value app is equal to nginx and selectors does not match the template labels. Okay, template labels. In template labels here you have to give fine, come back, edit. I shit. Come here. Say that team is equal to, sorry, not is equal to colon DevOps. Escape shift colon WP. Now apply kubectl get RC kubectl get labels -show -labels. Get pods, not labels. See here you have multiple labels you can assign under this RC. So coming to the labels concept of extra thing is match expressions. Match expressions, I'll go here to the replica set. Replica. So here, why this replica? This replica is maintains a stable set of pods running in any given time, such as if often guaranteed availability, the specific number of pods are maintaining. There is no difference of controller and replica set. But why the replica set is created? So this replica with the field including selector that specifies, this is the difference. This is the difference. This just single difference, okay? That specifies how to identify pods it can acquire a number of replicas indicating how many pods it should be maintaining, and a pod template specifying the data of new pods it should create and meet the number of replica criteria. The replica set then fulfills the purpose of creating or deleting the pod. Now let's understand. If you little bit come down, spec modify replacing according to your case, replica is this one. Here under selector we are telling match labels. We are telling match labels. Is that there in it? No, there is no match labels. What this match labels will do, in previous case we created a pod with the same label. Does my controller acquired those extra pod? Does it? No, it is not acquired. Then we will see what happens in the replica set case. Same labels, okay? Now I will delete this replication controller. kubectl delete RC. Now apply this replica set. You no need to create the thing. kubectl get rs. Replica set is rs. Now you can see front end 3 seconds ago. 4 seconds ago. Front end and front end. Front end and front end. What is the label under metadata? Tire front end. App is equal to guest book. And match label is front end. Labels are front end. Okay, fine. Now we understand this one. Now kubectl get pods -show -labels. Here you can see we have 3 pods with tire is equal to front end, right? Yes. Now let me create one more pod, a new pod. kubectl run command, yeah. So this is the pod. I'll say that nginx-2 or my pod test-1. I'll say tire front end paste. Now let me see the pods. Now let me see the pods. App is equal to DevOps. Does it create it? It was showing the pod, but does it create it? No, we are not able to see the pod with the same thing. Okay. Now I'll create pod is equal to app is equal to front end. Here app is equal to front end came because the different key and the different value. Different key and the different value, right? Okay. If you come here, app is equal to guest book and this one is equal to this one. Okay, if you come advanced in the down, okay. What I would like to prove is this board, it is 1.34 version, right? Okay. The new version. If I create one orphan pod, to the orphan pod, I have given a label. Then my controller has to acquire if I delete the existing pod. So my intention, what I wanted to prove is I have controller. Okay, this is R. Okay, replica set. I have all these labels. When I'm creating the new pod, this is not attached to this. Okay, when I'm creating this new pod, okay, with the same label, app is equal to DevOps. It is not coming under this because the condition is matched. But if this orphan pod is exist, it's created, let's say, okay. Then when I delete this pod, instead creating the new pod, it has to acquire under this. That is what my intention. That is should be there in the old versions of the Kubernetes. But now if I create with the same labels, am I missing something? It is showing created, but it is not. It is not coming under this, and we are not able to see that. Even we are not able to see that. Okay. So now there is match expressions in. There is match expressions in replica set. Replica set match expression. Match expression. Yeah, these are the operators. In, not in, exist, doesn't exist. I said you right here. In, not in, where I said. Yeah, here. So in, not in, exist. So this thing it will check with your replica set match expressions. Here in the selectors match labels, we can give this. This is what it will support. Okay. Now if I give multiple operators and key like this, that it has to acquire under this. So we'll try this one. Image Nginx we will give. Replica set will go here. We delete this one. You are getting me right? What I'm doing? Everyone. That's it. Escape shift colon W go. Kubectl -f. Apply -f. rs.yml. Kubectl get rs. Your current state is this one. Kubectl get po. Okay. You have 3 pods are running. If you go and ask for the labels, here you can see app is equal to my app, environment is equal to production, feature is equal to new, tire is equal to front end. Tire is equal to front end. Okay. So to this test one pod, I will go into name one of the label. Okay. What label? App is equal to my app. App is equal to my app. Okay. So kubectl label pod test-1 app hyphen. So it will unlabel. Then you can give my hyphen app. So test one is there. Test one is not deleted. You can see now. You have same app is equal to my app. App is equal to my app. Test one is equal to my app is there. Now what I'm doing is I wanted to delete one of the pod from this controller. I wanted to delete one of the pod from this controller. kubectl delete po and the pod name. And the pod name. What I'm doing, I'm deleting this. The pod is deleted. Now if I get again pod, it's created the new pod again in just 4 seconds. It is not acquire the same one. It is not acquire same one. Why it is not acquire the same? Existing with the label, it is there with the same pod. So in the this one, app is equal to my app. This is pod things. Match expressions. Operators. Key operators exist. There. Tire. Only we are giving in tire. Okay. So tire front end. Let me do as a label tire front end. Front. You have your test pod is this one. Now kubectl delete po pod. Created the new pod. It was not acquiring. Array, spelling mistake I did. Front end. So same you are giving this one and this one was not acquiring. It has to acquire. It has to acquire. Acquire orphan pod. Set based. Match labels. Acquisition. Pods created by this template will match both criteria. So key in operator in values production staging. So production. kubectl edit rs by ReplicaSet. Here we are saying operator in production or staging. Key is not in dev. Okay. In production. Okay. So escape, shift colon W exclamation mark. What I label is it is creating the new pod. I'm missing something. Let me read. Let's edit our pod, which is kubectl edit pivot test-1. So here labels is equal to my app. Selector match labels. We given app is equal to Nginx. Okay. So let me come here and go to this one. Control C. kubectl edit rs. RS name is my replica set. given match expression. Match label my app already matching right my app. Match expression, production and staging. Okay. And then our pod metadata what we are giving only production. What we are giving here, what we are giving key as an environment, and this one here I have given environment as this one, environment.
Can you try to scale up 3 to 4? Then we can check is it appearing.
Scaling up is not the thing. I'm deleting, right? It has to acquire. Scale up. If I do scale up also, it is acquiring. It should also acquire when I delete. You're getting me? Scale up is not the solution.
Yeah, yes.
If we are doing +1, it is acquiring means if we do -1 also, it has to acquire. Something I'm missing here. Maybe generation. Yes, that's the problem, buddy. We are using generation 1. Generation 1. And here we are using generation 2 API. That's the problem. So here it is V1 and apps in this case, let's do, we have time 9 it's already, but let me quickly, you all time right? Can we try? I will take some time to process this all. And 15 minutes only there for this lab. Delete rs my replica set. var.yml escape. What is this? A created pod, yeah. Apps 1 only. We tried the same thing, right? Escape KFCTL apply -f rs.ym. Okay. Right, you can see now it is acquired. Right? It's not created 3. Here you can see it's a 3. It is acquired now. Because existing pod is already there with the same labels. Get pods -show -labels. Yeah. So tire front end already there, right? That's why it is acquired this new pod instead creating the pod with the same name. Are you getting?
Yes, Rajni.
Don't know how many are getting. Priyanka, Rahul, Rajesh.
Can you summarize this, Rajani? Like, so just quick summarize for only for this concept. First, initially we created it. It's going into pending.
Right. So the pending thing is different. Again, it's on the label.
Okay.
That is no controller. There's no controller option. But now, even though controller, now you get the pod into the pending is node affinity and pod affinities. We'll come to that point in the later. But now, what we are trying to do is actually, so I have a controller, okay? So this is a replication controller, RS. And I have 3 pods. Okay. So these 3 pods under my replication controller. Okay. And these 3 pods I have tire is equal to front end I said to these 3 pods. And manually I created one more pod. It's an orphan pod. There is no parent to control this. Okay. So what I have done is same label I have given. Tire is equal to front end. When you create with this, the different name, this pod, when you delete this pod, so it should acquire under this. It is not happening. So I have deleted this replication controller and I recreated again. When I recreated again, it is created this 2 pods. In third place, it is already there, right? Existing. So it is acquired in this place. Now this pod is running in this place. So because the labels are matched in, this is not there with your replication controller. Yeah. So that is what the replica set is. The new option is match expressions or match labels. Some advanced concept of multiple labels. So that is the problem in your replication controller. And there is one more problem. You have V1 pods and you wanted to do V2 pods in replication set. Not possible. In replication controller possible, but downtime. Here it is not possible. Only one option what? It is having this option of handling the match expressions. Okay. Multiple labels. So that is the advantage. So we are using this replica set in production level indirectly. Not directly, but we are using indirectly. So don't worry, it just need a knowledge purpose. We are not working on this at production. We will work on deployment controllers. Deployment, actually. So this is important. This we will do at the production level. Okay. Getting? So I'll
Yeah,
give you the
Rajani.
notes. I'll try to give you the notes. Just try to please read or do your search as well. Go read in the Google. Try to understand. I don't know how many things you will read and then you'll get this clarity, but I'm trying to give you the best clarity of uh, proofing them in the labs. Okay, so this is what happens in the real-time world. Cool. So I don't
This will
want.
take care by automatically in the worker node, right? We don't need to do all these kind of the manual things, right? Or we need to do that in production day-to-day activities. The replication controller and
This
scheduler.
controller will take automatically. You no need to do
Automatically.
anything.
Okay.
If you any
Okay.
problems, then you need to fix it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess it's too much information today. Just go through the notes and just again go through the recording in just 1.25 or 1.5x if you are speed thinking person, other than a normal. Then try practice this. Okay.
Yeah, sure, Rajani. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So we'll meet tomorrow at the same time then. Okay. This is very, very important. Please do practice.